Welcome, everybody. Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the Shipwreck Podcast. I'm your host. Bobby Ship. Um, this is going to be another jam-packed show. We got a lot in store. I'm hoping to have some people with different viewpoints than mine to come on. We'll see. If they don't, it's okay. We still continue to live on and continue to do what we do as a community, as a shipwreck community, and talk about what's going on. I'm gonna start off by saying that this week was very, very, very taxing for me. Very taxing. As you guys know, I try to be as factual as possible on a pod. And in doing so, I like to research what we're going to talk about, and since this subject is going to be about Charles Kirk, I should say, Charles Kirk. And I didn't even think we was gonna have to do this subject, to be honest with you, but it was people were clamoring to hit me up and saying we need to talk more about it. And so I said, all right, we'll dive into it some more, and make the episode about not just him and how he lived his life, but how the country and the Republican Party and us as a whole are acting with this. To say that I'm disappointed in our country, disappointed in our leadership, disappointed in our sports teams, our local governments, disappointed in a lot of people. I'm disappointed in. But yeah, so again, like I said, this week was taxing because to bring to you what I thought was the true nature of Charles Kirk, I had to go diving into his material. And I spent a lot of time listening to him, and in some ways, honestly, it was traumatic. In a lot of ways, it was traumatic. Simply because, not just because I didn't agree with his viewpoint, but the things he was saying it and the way he was saying it just really say, I can see how people can try to deny the racism there. It's still there. But like I said in last week's pod, he was just a buttoned up David Duke. And so listen to that for hours. And don't worry about it, everybody. I boiled it down to a good time frame for us to look at some of the stuff that he has said. But it was very, very taxing. Very, very taxing. But I thank everybody for coming on. Again, if you're on YouTube, please go. If you put on YouTube, please like already. Hit the like button right now. Boop, boop. It only takes a second. Also, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. I really appreciate everybody. We do not have any guests on. It's a formal guest, so we will just have our community like we normally do. And again, I thank everybody that's here already watching. If you're on Facebook, please, I'm trying to transfer everything to Facebook, but I actually want to add something new to this. If you're on Facebook watching, do me a favor and share the live link on your page. And hopefully we can get more eyeballs on it. I will say, like I said, the community is growing slowly but surely. And I'm just happy to be here to enjoy life with us. But also, you guys are my therapy, and I hope to help you guys out as well. We already have our first guest, Ronnie.
How you doing,
Doe? How you doing?
What up, Doe?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Hey, good to see you, brother.
Good to see you as well. Good to see you as well.
Hey, this gonna be a great topic. I hope the people that are listening and joining in or whatever, if they have comments or whatever, please put them in here so we can talk about
it.
Everybody's welcome. Thank you for getting this together, Bobby, and let's do what we normally do, baby.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, so like I said, it's the main subject is going to be on Charles Kirk, and the hypocrisy surrounding that. But I'm also I wanted to start this off, by talking about Trey Henderson, who passed away earlier this week. They are calling it a suicide. And anybody that knows that's been watching this pod for a while, don't know me personally, know that I'm not really in conspiracies or anything like that. But I need more than them just telling me it's a suicide. I need a note. I need right now they're saying that there's no physical evidence of an altercation or anything, but that's not to say somebody put somebody to sleep. You know what I mean? Like and I'm not going to rush the judgment because we don't know all the facts. And I'm gonna play a quick synopsis of what happened to him. But that's my first opinion of it is basically black people really don't hang themselves, especially not from a tree in Mississippi. So right there, the suspicion goes up. But I want to give a little bit of time to Trey, and so we're going to watch the video. And if anybody, again, this is an open forum. Anybody can come and sit on the couch if you would like to come. I put it on YouTube, put it on Facebook as far as the invite to come in and talk. But like I said, it's an open forum, but we're going to talk about Trey for a couple of minutes and then go on to the main topic.
Family in Mississippi is now begging for answers after their 21-year-old was found dead hanging from a tree at Delta State University. Campus police say the body of 21-year-old Trey Reed, a black student, was discovered by staff members on Monday morning. Authorities quickly ruling out foul play, and during a press conference today, the university president insisting that race relations are not an issue at the university.
I can say that my heartbreak is comprehensive, not just for Trey, although it is primarily for Trey, but for the fact that the rest of the world has an impression of Delta State that is so at odds with what I know to be this institution. This institution should not be associated with hate or hate crimes.
Civil rights attorney Ben Crump, now representing Reed's family, demanding more transparency. The family saying we cannot accept vague conclusions when so many questions remain. Let's bring in our Ike Ajachi. So, Ike, what are we learning from police today? And are they still continuing to rule out foul play?
Yeah, Kira, several different agencies surrounding this investigation are saying just that. The Delta State University police chief, he's come out and said that there is no indication of foul play surrounding this incident. He also said that there is no ongoing threat to staff or faculty. Now, if you also look at what the Bolivar County Coroner's Office is saying, it's also falling in line with that. They're saying through a preliminary examination that there are no injuries to 21-year-old Trey Reed's body that are consistent to a physical attack. So that they said that there are no lacerations, no bruises, no broken bones, anything that would look like there was a physical attack to his body. Now, the coroner's office is saying that they are investigating this as a suicide, and they're also saying that the full autopsy is currently being done by the Mississippi State Crime Lab, and that'll be finished in about 24 to 48 hours, Kira.
So what is the family saying? Are they thinking it's a suicide?
Well, Kira, the family of Trey Reed right now, they are expressing deep frustration and they are demanding transparency surrounding this investigation. Right now, through their attorney, Vanessa Jones, they have announced that they are conducting their own independent autopsy and they're even conducting their own investigation around this. They are demanding answers, they're saying, that are shrouded in some kind of a cloud of secrecy. This is according to the attorney and the family. So what we're seeing right now is that they're claiming that there has been a lack of direct communication from law enforcement, from the university to the family on the day this incident was discovered. That is, of course, on September 15th, just 2 days ago. They're saying there has been no communication, and that's exactly what they're demanding. Take a listen.
Family does not know exactly what happened on September the 15th of 2025. We are seeking answers. The family of Trey Reed has not even received a phone call from the president of Delta State University.
He told me that they found Trey Reed in his room. And he didn't say possible suicide, he said suicide.
Now, Kira, it is important to note that the university did respond, the university president that is, by saying that the university contacted an individual for Trey Reed who is listed as the next of kin. And they said that happened on that day, Kira.
All right. So, again, welcome, Vanessa. Welcome back to the pod. Welcome back to the couch. Again, before I let you guys talk, I just want to say, if you're on YouTube, please like and subscribe. If you're on Facebook, please go to the YouTube, like and subscribe. And also before you leave your Facebook, if you're on Facebook, please share the live on your page for me, just so we can try to get more eyes on it. I really would appreciate that. with that being said, Ronnie, you're up first. How do you feel about Trey's death and suspicion around
First
him?
off, I got you. Welcome, Vanessa. Good to see you this week too. How you doing today? For me, I always put myself in like people's shoes. For me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. We don't know the entire details of behind what's happening out there at that HBCU university. Of course, you're not gonna have race relations issues because it's a freaking HBCU.
Yeah.
Mississippi is the highest, has always been the highest, worst, I guess you would call it, lynching state in the United States for the inceptions of this country. They've lied, they've done things. Of course, they're not going to put it out there, even if it was that way. I guarantee you, they would put it out there as a lynching. They'd burn that freaking whole campus down. So they know what they're doing. This is more of a political thing than anything else. They'll probably say something behind closed doors or any of that stuff, but the truth is going to come out. A young black man, his life is lost. That hung himself in the middle, basically in the middle of a campus, but nobody knows any details behind it. Nobody knows how he got the rope. How about you go and investigate like how you would do for a serial killer? Go find out where the rope was bought at, who bought it, who manufactured it, all the other things, and how it was transported from one place to another. They can do all of that stuff instantaneously. So my thing is like what they're trying to do is I think they're trying to keep things as low as possible because they know once the truth come out, especially what just happened with Charlie, that you talking about something that's gonna snap out. I can promise you this: if it was somebody in my family, say it was my son, I don't care if he did commit suicide or whatever it is. Somebody is going to talk to me today. Not tomorrow, not yesterday, not in a few days. We get back to you. Your ass ain't going to sleep because I ain't going to sleep until I find out exactly what it is. And I would know, his family would know if he was in that situation where he would have that kind of thought process to end his young life when everything in his life was so positive, right? So to me, I would listen to more of his family members and say, hey, this is so out of character for this young man. And there's no way that he could possibly put himself in a position to do that. His friends would know something. I don't know who he was around. His teacher, somebody would have known if he was in that position. It's a whole lot more to that.
Yeah,
you don't think this thing through to where I'm gonna take this tree with this rope and I'm gonna hang myself on this day in this position, so everybody can see this.
Yeah,
doesn't make any sense to me. You know what I mean? I think that's more of what's happening. They're keeping the temperature down because if when they pop off and they understand that this was not, hopefully, when they get down to the truth of it, that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah, I'd agree. I'd absolutely agree. All right, Vanessa, once again, welcome back to the couch. We appreciate you as always. And what is your take on Trey so far?
I just think beyond the fact that it's tragedy, I think that a lot of people are trying to say, oh, well, it's suicide. So let's play with that for a second. It's percentage wise, when you look at like statistics for how Black men do this.
I started to bring that up.
It's like the number one cause, over 50%, is with a firearm. And then there's like a 20% little wedge where the definition is suffocation, and under suffocation comes hanging yourself. So it's not the most common way. It's not necessary. Maybe he didn't have access to a firearm. I don't know. Let's say
maybe not. Yeah, just because he's on a campus, I can see him not having access.
Right. If you're living in a dorms, it's maybe something difficult to get your hands on. And judging from the personal tidbits that we've gotten, it's not something that's recreational for him either. So maybe they have one at home for protection, but it's not like his lifestyle. So there's that. And let's say that he felt like hanging himself was the only way that he had. The public nature of it, and I just don't understand. It's kind of like, I'm Jewish. I'm not gonna fill a room with gas to kill
Yeah.
myself
Yeah.
unless I'm
Exactly.
making a point. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think that for a Black man to commit suicide by hanging is not out of the question, but to do it from a tree
Mm-hmm.
in public,
In
in
Mississippi.
that county, in that city, in that state, a week after this political turmoil that is so racially charged, it's not funny.
Yeah.
I absolutely think that foul play was, it has
Mhm.
something to do with this. The fact that they can't get the story straight. Are his bones broken or not?
Mhm.
Was he in his room or in, like just the little tidbits from what his family was told to what's, the internet has, invented. The lack of information. I do think it's, if they were to say it's too early to tell right now, we need to do some investigating. We suspect foul play, but we're going to go ahead and rule that out.
Yeah.
That would be different than, it's like saying Jeffrey Epstein killed himself. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Yeah.
it's as
Yeah.
ridiculous to me.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
as ridiculous.
I would absolutely agree. And hopefully the facts can come out in this case, and we can get more evidence to what really happened.
Right.
Hopefully. But all right, let's move on to our main topic. Again, if you're watching this on YouTube, please hit the like button. Please hit the like button if you're and subscribe if you're not a subscriber already. If you're on Facebook, before you get off to Facebook and come on YouTube, that's how I'd rather you be. Share this on your page if you don't mind. Just share it on your Facebook personally, if you don't mind, just so that way we can help to grow the community. If you want to join, I put the link in the Facebook as well as the YouTube, where you just click the link and then you can join. It's pretty easy, pretty simple. So now let's move on to Charles Kirk. And again, like I opened the show with, it was a very taxing week to look at his material in and of itself. I like I said, our podcast is based on factual stuff, so I had to find examples of what I thought was his racism, and so I boiled it down to under 5 minutes, just under 5 minutes, because to watch all of it, I mean, we will all be just really upset and angry. But I wanted us to get a gist of it, and we're going to stop while he says stuff just to get our opinion on it. Again, if you don't want to join the pod, you can always leave comments. Comments we can show personally, so show up on the pod so you can watch them as well. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into some of the racist things. Not all, but just some of the racist things I feel, and we'll see if the community feels that way as well. If you don't feel like he's a racist at all, please join the pod. We always encourage and want a different point of view. But we're going to say we will like those point of views based on facts. If it's something we need to look up and for me to show the community, I have no problem doing that. This is an open forum for us to talk and discuss, but it's based on facts and respect. That's all we ask for. All right, so let's go.
I can't stand the word empathy. Actually, I think empathy is a made-up New Age term that does a lot of damage. I think it's.
Stop at that one first, the empathy one, because I think that's something that we should talk about. Simply because this was a hot topic when he first passed away, and the right is really upset for people really just saying what he said, even just using his words. You did in a group of Vanessa, just used. Actually, it was Rita who just said, just literally just quoted him, and that was considered celebrating his death because he was,
Right.
So when somebody said, let me start with this before we even get into this, I should have started with this. Nobody on this forum that is here right now, that I can speak for right now, are celebrating in any way the death of Charlie Kirk.
Right.
It shouldn't have happened. Murder
No.
is wrong. Violence is wrong. Political violence is wrong. It should not have happened. None of what we're saying is celebrating his death. We're simply breaking down why we feel the way we feel about the person, not the way he died, not that he should have died, or any celebration with that whatsoever. That is none of that whatsoever. All right. With that being said, I think it's fair to talk about his lack of empathy simply because all of these people are saying, scream out and give him empathy. If you want to give him empathy, go all for it. I'll never say you should not give a person empathy who passed away. Never would I say that. But if some people don't, I don't judge them for that because of who he was and what he said and his lack of empathy towards others that passed away. Would anybody like to talk about that before we move on to what else he said?
Yeah. So for me, yeah, agreed. Like no one is celebrating this father's and husband's death. That was just a horrible thing that happened, especially so publicly, and especially with his people in attendance and all the other people, all the kids that were there that actually saw this kind of stuff. It's going to be haunting them for a long time.
Absolutely.
But I talked to the funny thing is I had a conversation with my daughter today on her way to college, and she's going to be a psychologist. And we talked about this specific thing about the word empathy. I said empathy is something that some people do deserve. Some people deserve empathy.
I think the overwhelming vast majority of people in general deserve empathy. Absolutely.
Right. Then she said, "Well, Dad, no, everyone should deserve empathy." I said, "Well, let's think about it this way." I said, "Would you have empathy for a person that run over a kitten on purpose? Would you have empathy for the person for that instance?" And she was like, "Well, no." I said, "Well, then everyone doesn't deserve that type of empathy, right?" Now, there's different forms of empathy. That's what people don't understand. People think it's only one way to empathize for someone else, right? It's multiple ways to empathize financially. You can empathize for them because they're not in it. For homeless people, I empathize for them not having a home. You know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. You can do it a gazillion different ways, right? I have empathy for him and his family and him losing his life. That is an empathetic thing. I do not have empathy the way that he spewed the things that he spewed and the things that he addressed, how he personally felt about certain aspects that I 100%, and I know a lot of people didn't agree with, right? He didn't have empathy for, starving kids. He didn't have empathy for people that are running away from persecution, from literally dying. Where was the empathy for that portion of it at? You got to have empathy to receive empathy, right?
I'd agree.
In that direction, right? And I also told her, I said, the last thing I told her, I said, you know how you can always tell how a person lived is watch the people that follow them. You can tell what type of a leader and what type of a person they are by the people they follow. You don't even have to have any thought process on them. Look at the people that follow along with every word of that. And that's that is how you judge a person.
Absolutely.
That's how you judge a person. That's what we talked about.
Vanessa?
Well, I think you're absolutely right, Ronnie. Like it's like people saying, well, I'm not racist, but I like Trump's policies. But you're saying that racism is okay, right? Like you need to look at who Charlie Kirk appeals to before you decide you want him to appeal to you. But also, I think that, so I don't know if it's empathy exactly, but I kind of feel sorry for him. Not about the shooting. That is a separate issue. I never should have happened. I don't believe in political violence. I cannot stand the fact that the extremes of the left and the right want to live in an echo chamber. I will never understand wanting all the voices in the room to be saying the same thing. I don't understand that. I think you need
civil discourse. You do.
Yeah, and you need all the different kinds of people with different kinds of perspectives in order for that to be productive. You have to include everyone to have that kind of conversation. And that's something that, while he pretended he was interested in that, and he appeared to be interested in that, his actions, his words, his voting power, those things did not bear out to be true. When you look at his behavior, like you can have the appearance of selling medicine, but really inside it's just snake oil. You know what I mean? And so I do feel sorry for him. I'm sorry that he lives in a world where he feels like, people who are educated are pitiable. I feel sorry for him that he lives in a world where he wonders, if the people next to him are as qualified as him because they don't look like him. I cannot imagine all of the wonderful, interesting, but also terrible and awful things that he missed out on because he has such a narrow worldview. There are fantastic things, good and bad, that he doesn't get to experience or be a part of the solutions because he rejects the premise that there's a problem in the first place because it doesn't look like a problem for him.
Yeah.
So
Excellently said. Excellently said. So let's continue on because this like I said is just under 5 minutes and we're only 8 seconds in.
Worth it. I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every season.
I just want to stop for that one again. Like,
yeah.
so for somebody to lack empathy because he lacked complete and utter empathy for anybody dying of a gun death.
He was specifically talking about school shootings right there.
Yeah, he was.
He was talking about kids.
Yeah.
Sometimes kids gotta die.
So we can keep our guns.
Yeah.
So again, none of this is endorsing or saying that the man should be killed. Say that once again. We're gonna say that throughout this whole podcast.
Piece that Kirk describes King as, quote, a bad guy. It's true. And Kirk's self-described very, very radical view that the country made a mistake when it passed the Civil Rights Act. Also true.
And the Civil Rights Act, though, let's be clear, created a beast, and that beast has now turned into an anti-white weapon.
So you're
I just want to stop it right there. And this is the theme that you will see for me is anti-white. That's what he's going to continue to hit on. And I want to continue on so we can finish it off some more. We're only 30 seconds in. Let's continue to watch a little bit more.
Abortion to the Holocaust.
Absolutely, I am. In fact, it's worse. It's worse.
It's really not. So if you had a daughter and she was 10 and she got raped, would you want her to go through that and carry her baby?
That's awfully graphic.
But it's a real life scenario that happens to many people.
The answer is yes, the baby would be delivered.
I'm Addie and I'm 14. I'm a freshman in high school.
I think there is an argument to bring back the MRS degree. And no, seriously. And just be clear, that's why you're going to college, right? Don't lie to yourself. I'm studying sociology. No, you're not. We know why you're here. And that's okay. I say college is a scam, but if you're going to find your life partner, that's actually a really good reason to go to college. And so, yeah, you could go learn some stuff. That's fine, I guess, or whatever. Just don't listen to your professor.
So I just want to stop there because of the misogyny there. So again, we're talking about racism, but we're talking about really is everything. Is racism, is misogyny, is homophobia, is Islamophobia. I'm gonna give you a second, and Vanessa is the only woman on the panel right now. Again, anybody, if you want to join, the link is in the YouTube as well as Facebook. Come on in and join. If you want to just leave a message in the chat, you're welcome to do that as well. What would you like to say as a woman about the misogyny that you have heard from maybe this video or other things that you have seen from him?
So weirdly enough, the first thing that I ever saw of Charlie Kirk, I don't know why he wasn't on my radar for so long, but he wasn't. The first thing I ever heard him say was somebody shared a clip where he basically it was at a college campus and a female student was like, what happens if a woman withdraws consent? And he's like, oh, well, there's gray areas. If you're both 5 beers in and you're naked already, and then she withdraws consent, come on, that's a gray area. Oh, wow. No, sir, it's not. No, sir, it's not. It's not a great area. It's just not. And so that was the actual first thing I ever heard leave his mouth. Mm-hmm. And it goes downhill from there. And a lot of his misogyny, I think, comes back in, and I'm sure you've got it in here somewhere where he talks about Harris and her just not being qualified for vice president. So I will save some of that for that part of it.
I don't think I have that specifically in there. I have in there what he said about black women and about Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson. Yeah, I have that one.
Okay, yeah. So he's got this idea in his head, and you can see it in every single statement he makes, whether it's xenophobic, racist, misogynistic. He feels like he's the default. He's the blank avatar. We build off of him. And everybody else who wants to exist in the same space has to do so around him because we orbit around the default white man. And, that's just everything that he says stems from that. Women are less than, people of color are less than, immigrants are less than.
Yeah. It's a white man's world, not
Right.
not just white people. White man's world is his,
Right, and it isn't right. It is man, and it's like he says things like you took a white person's slot. You took a like you're an unqualified woman, and it's I don't know. It's a lot of
It's
clapping
terrible.
himself on the
It's
back.
really
Yeah.
terrible. It's really terrible. Let's continue on, Ronnie. I'm gonna continue on a little bit.
Spiritual battle is coming to the West, and the enemies are wokeism or Marxism combining with Islamism to go after what we call the American way of life. And the American way of life is very simple. I want to be able to get married, buy a home, have kids, allow them to ride their bike till the sun goes down, send them to a good school, have a low crime neighborhood, not to have my kid be taught the lesbian, gay, transgender garbage in their school, while also not having them have to hear the Muslim call to prayer 5 times a day. That's important. We want the American way of life, which is, by the way, Christendom. Christians, our sacrifice, our toil, our vision, the outgrowth of the scriptures gave us Western civilization.
All right, so I'm gonna start by saying, I'm not gonna get into a battle of is Judaism, Christianism, Islamic, Buddhism, which one is better, or their beliefs. None of that really matters in this context. And the reason why I'm saying that is because this country is supposed to be based on freedom of religion, separation of church and state. And if you believe in Christianity, go and worship and live your life in that way. But you should not be able to push that religion on anyone else. And for him to say, we don't want to hear the call of prayer in schools or call of prayer, when here in Texas, they just allowed the 10 Commandments to be put on every classroom in the state and allowed for time for you to read the Bible. Is that no different than a call of prayer?
Well, they didn't allow it. They demanded it. First of all,
you're absolutely correct.
Right?
Demanded it. You said it way better than me. Thank you.
But also, I know I'm monopolizing. I'm sorry, Ronnie.
No, you're fine.
No, take your time. I'm on you.
I just think that this is part of his poison. Is he's hiding behind such an extreme, narrow, twisted view of what Christianity is supposed to be, that I don't know how anybody can listen to him and think that it's truly Christian unless they are on the same program that he is on, which is do whatever is in my own best interest and screw everybody else, which is again not Christianity.
Yeah. Ron, I'm gonna give you. I just want to say today in Congress, one of the congressmen said that if Charlie Kirk lived, and we're going to get into, if Charlie Kirk lived during the time of Jesus, he would have been the 13th disciple. Congressman just said that today.
No.
Ronnie, go ahead, my brother.
Listen, this goes back as far as we can possibly think about humans and following some type of religion, and this covers all of them, right? Every religion teaches literally the same thing. Principle 1: treat people like you want to be treated.
Yep.
That's every religion, right? Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Love is the strongest thing out of all the religions. That was the main thing of every religion is love.
Yep.
Correct?
Yep.
Right? Treat others let's go back to one of the basic things, right? And this is what a lot of people always think about, like, oh, we want to throw the, religious tag on this and religious tags on that. I loathe that. I don't care what religion you are. There have been evil people in every single religion known to man, and they always try to take it into it. Oh, it's because the religion says we should do it this way. No, you're taking it completely out of context. Listen to the main subject of it, and ultimately, and if you look at any of our spiritual teachings, is the main thing is love is probably in there the most used word in each of them. right? If you're not teaching togetherness, if you're separating people, if you want to put people in categories, and you're not treating someone else that like how you want to be treated, you can't call yourself that, or you can't use that as that as a basis of whatever you got spewing out of your mouth. You are just a jacked up person that you try to lean back on and say, hey, this is what the Bible no, the hell it don't. Not people that really understand what religion is. We all speak the same language. We all want to be prosperous and fruitful, and it doesn't say only this genre, this race of people are the people that are supposed to be. It says all in all of, go look at all the religious books. It never says specific. You never said because it says it's specific people, Gentiles and this, that, and the other, whatever that means, right? But that's a man-made thing. That's not what the teachings of the ultimate teachings of what the words of all these words are going to teach you. Treat people like you want to be treated.
Yeah.
And if you are spewing this hateful speech and you're thinking back and saying, hey, this is why we're doing it. Well, let's go back and think about what just go back into this country, right? Because that's what they gave people. They gave slaves a slave Bible. They left out major parts of the Bible, major parts of it. But they try to make it to a religion where they try to convert the slaves and say, hey, no, we're doing this because
and
God,
they did.
I know, I'm with you. That because God said we're supposed to do this to you.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You understand what I mean? So this is the kind of things that people need to really understand and stop thinking about, oh, he was a Christian man and he believed in Jesus and blah, 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 blah. He didn't speak in that terms of
And I was about to say, to me, he did not live a Christian life. To me, I'm gonna just be saying,
I'm gonna leave it at that.
I'm gonna leave it at that. I don't believe he lived a Christian life. Go ahead.
The only thing I would add, because I absolutely agree with that, is that the way he demonizes other people as if they don't want the same thing, right?
Yeah.
So what did he say? He said wokeism and Marxists and
lesbian,
people who
gays,
and people who practice Islam
Yeah.
don't want their kids to be able to ride their bikes or to put dinner on the table.
Yeah.
Everybody wants their families to be okay. Ronnie, you use the word prosperity, right? Like everybody wants that. And to pretend that that's the unique idea
of
to
American
his followers or to Western society is bonkers, first of all. But second, why is it okay if to pretend like you're the only ones who deserve it? That's the part that really pisses me off is like, no, I'm this way, so I've earned those human rights of food and happiness and happy kids.
Absolutely.
Bonkers.
And jobs. And because we got to get to that here.
These blacks trying to go rob her, happening all the time in urban America. Prowling blacks go around for fun to go target white people. That's a fact.
Again, right, so we're just gonna let the racism go because again, if you don't see the racism in that, we're not on the same playing field. We're not looking at the same facts.
Crime is a major issue in our country. Why are you pushing criminal justice reform exactly? Joy Reid and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson, they're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously.
Now I'm gonna stop it right there. And the reason why I'm gonna stop right there is because I can't tell you how many times people said, you're taking out of context. Why don't you play the whole video, play the whole clip and all this stuff? And all I said is just that. So we need to hear more words that surround his racism. What he said in and of itself was racist. And then let me tell you why I say it's racist. Simply because he didn't say these women used affirmative action and they took a job from somebody more qualified than them. He didn't say that. There's problems with affirmative action and these women getting jobs that or going to schools that they shouldn't have been able to go to because they didn't have the qualifications or the test scores to go to. He didn't say because people more qualified would have been able to go to those schools. He said you took it from a white person.
Right.
Yep. He said you took it from a white person. Again, it's overt racism to me But of course, they're going to still hide behind the fact of, well, he's talking about affirmative action and people are getting jobs that they shouldn't be getting, or getting, slots in the DEI and all this stuff. No, he's not worried about them taking it from somebody qualified. He's worried about them taking it from somebody white.
Right. Yeah.
Anybody got it?
So I got something to say real quick.
Go ahead.
Hey, my cousin wants to join in here. I'm gonna give him the link to join.
Send
Is
a
that
link.
cool?
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
So
everybody can join.
So what I want to say is, I'm talking about this part of it. So what I'm gonna say is, does people even understand where he grew up at?
I have no idea where he grew up at. I have no idea.
So that's the problem, right? So a lot of people don't know this man. He grew up in a wealthy family. Do y'all know that?
No. It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me.
I
know he was a college dropout.
He grew up in a wealthy family in Chicago. He never had any problems with money, getting a job, doing any of this other stuff. That's what people don't. When people don't know your whole background and they listen to you, you got a wealthy person telling the majority of people that aren't wealthy how they should be living their life.
Absolutely.
And this is and people follow these people, and this isn't new. This is an old playbook. It's always been affluent rich people telling the less affluent rich people how to freaking they should be living their life, when they don't even live their life that way. They don't even have to worry about being in those certain situations.
This is why
about a job taken away from them or any of that stuff.
I agree.
That's what blows my mind.
But you gotta understand why. Because the poorest white person think they have more privilege, more rights, and are better than the richest black person. Now, I'm not saying about everybody. Let me start that disclaimer.
But it happens.
But right. Yes, but that has been permeated throughout our society here in America since slavery.
Right.
That even the poorest that never owned a single slave wouldn't have a couldn't afford a slave if his life depended on it. But they thought they were better than any slave or any freed black man or woman.
100%.
So
they were what they did was what they realized, and it's always, again, this has been a playbook forever. It's called divide and conquer, right? This isn't new. This is just a normal way to do it. Now you can do it faster because now they have the internet, right? So what they do is they put people in the categories. They do it religiously, right? They do it racially, right? They do it economically, and then what they do is all these rich people put all these people in these basically a bottle and say, hey, that's my cousin. Right. Hey, let's see who gets out of this alive first. And then they play the playbook and say, you know what, we're gonna give these people a little bit more advantage than the other people. And then they say, hey, the people that we gave you advantage over is trying to take over from you. Like, wait a minute, we all trying to be prosperous. We all want to live. We all want to be happy. We all want our children to be safe. We all want to live in a society where we don't have to worry about any of that other things that people pit us against each other with. Use people, your brain, do the research. All you got to do is literally have empathy, flip the script, and put yourself into another person's perspective, and that's how you're supposed to live.
Exactly.
But they allow people like this rich dude to influence them, to allow them to do the things that they do to people. And then not only that, but it's not this. So for me, again, this goes back to even this administration. It's not it's the people that propagate this stuff. They give them the platform to talk this bull crap. Who pay for all these, these big, interviews that thousands of people watch. You know what I mean? Vanessa, you didn't have them on your radar because the algorithm wouldn't allow you to have them on the radar because you weren't the person that they were targeting.
Yep.
Right.
You understand what I mean? So that's how this stuff works. That people don't really, you got to really be paying attention to how all this stuff works. And that's why I always say the system's going to work, because they weed people out like this. And once people start waking up, they don't want you woke. I don't want to drive my car fucking sleep. I want to be looking out. I want to know what's going on. That's what they're afraid of.
We have a lot to get to where you think that, where we going to get, come on the other side of this, a better country or where we need to be. Well, my brother Orlando, welcome to the couch. It's your first time. I appreciate you coming on. This is a safe space. And I don't know what your views are or anything like that, but obviously you wanted to come on. You've been watching the pod so far. And what has touched you to make you want to sit on the couch and talk to the shipmates and the rest of our family?
Hold on, Lando, before you say something. Hold on. I got to properly introduce him, right? You guys don't know who this guy means to me, right? So him and my other cousin, really, they all kind of raised me. This is my oracle, right? This is one of my oracles, right? So he's like a really smart guy. He's real humble. He's always he always actually made me stay in the right lane. So this is the guy I really followed to get out of the life that I was. This is
understandable.
Him. So go ahead, Lando. Go put it out there.
Big ups.
Well, I checked in, and I was just listening to everything about Charlie Kirk. I don't know much about Charlie Kirk, but I've seen a lot of the videos that been posted on him. And what can I say? Look, this is what we're living in this reality right now. This is what America has come to. It's come to where people who have these platforms, they can speak and say whatever they want to say. I read the news every day. Now you got the Attorney General going after people for freedom of speech.
Yeah. Yep.
Come on now. That's written in the Constitution.
Yep.
Freedom of speech. Whatever this man believed in, he believed in it. But right now they're making this man as a martyr.
They are. Absolutely.
As a martyr. A lot of people don't look at the way his views were and how it affected a lot of the young people.
Exactly.
My question is, most of his conventions, shall I say, or speaking engagements was held at college campuses. Why is that? Why?
Targeting children.
So little backstory, and I should have put the video up, but I don't have it. Trey Reed went into it more in detail, that it was a rich older white man that was Republican, and after 2012 and Obama won again, he realized that he was the younger vote was trending Democrat.
Yep.
And he had to come up with a way. He figured out a way to come up using Charlie Kirk to come up with the whatever his project thing is called. I don't even know the name, whatever. I don't care. Of giving him $4 million to start his project, to start going after the young people. So this has been a long time in the making, and it really blew up after COVID. So this was he was an industry plant from the Republican Party to galvanize young white folks to his side, especially young white men.
100%. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah,
he got recruited by a 72-year-old philanthropist, basically saying that, hey, we need a young upstart. And this is what they came up with, because this guy is, he's not an ugly dude. He's very well spoken, right? He's not. I'm not going to say he's a very educated.
He was good at what he was doing. He was good at his craft. He was good at his craft.
He was great at his craft.
Right.
But the whole thing is like the people, like I said before, is like what we said earlier. He's targeting young minds who you can mold them to anything you really want them to do. They may not believe or understand what he's talking about, but all they're doing is planting seeds in these kids, and eventually these kids are gonna grow up and they're gonna be in charge of a whole lot of stuff, right? And they're gonna see some of these things that he's talked about, and it may relate to them, and it may not relate to them. It may relate to them not directly, but indirectly through news articles that's being fed to their algorithm to make them turn into these people that they want to be turned into. So this is the thing that people really got. So that's why that you got to be very, very careful, especially things that you see and hear on the internet. You got to do your own research.
Yeah.
Look up the background of folk before you start listening to what they got to say.
Yeah.
Right. Look at who they're following.
Funding.
Yeah.
Who's following them. Those are the people that you should be investigating. That's the ones that you should be really paying attention to.
Absolutely. The fact that hate groups are so upset of his passing says everything to me. That says everything to me. So let's continue on. We still got 2 minutes left. So let's try to get through the rest of it and then continue on.
The southern border is, of course, the great replacement. They're trying to replace us demographically. They're trying to make the country less white. It is an anti-white agenda. If I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified.
America was at its peak when we halted immigration for 40 years and we dropped our foreign-born percentage to its lowest level ever.
Miss Rachel, you quote Leviticus 19, love your neighbor as yourself. The chapter before affirms God's perfect law when it comes to sexual matters. In Leviticus 18 is that thou shalt lay with another man shall be stoned to death. Can we get that picture up, Ryan, of that Marvel's Avenger team? Now, I don't know who the person is on the left. Is the person on the left that came and did the interview with Joe? The TikTok, your government is being run by freaks. It's like immediately I have like a flashback to a country where weren't able to do Bud Light commercials. What does being trans even mean? Is that even a real thing? It means you need therapy. We must ban trans affirming care the entire country. I do think that there is a direct correlation between someone's testosterone and their politics. On young men, the lower their testosterone, the more likely they are to be Democratic.
When blacks in America did not have the same rights they had today, they were less murderous, there was less break-ins. Why is that?
So I'm sorry, are you trying to say that blacks thrive under subjugation?
No, I'm not. I'm saying I'm asking you the question. The data shows they were actually better in the 1940s. It was bad, it was evil, but what happened? Something changed.
A certain skin color now gets their own summertime celebration. Oh, wow, look how far blacks have come. It has now become a racial complaining day. Remember what BLM stands for: burn, loot, and murder.
Yeah, DEI stands for
one of the biggest.
Didn't earn it, just so we're clear.
A lot of people are going to be saying Happy Juneteenth. It should not be a federal holiday, and I'm on my way to work.
Burn, loot, and murder. Didn't earn it is DEI. Brother Orlando, I'm gonna give it to you first. From what you just seen in that video, what's your reaction?
Well,
if you can't turn your light on, we can't really see you that well.
a lot of people, hold on. A lot of people don't understand what DEI was and is. Okay, so a lot of people don't understand what DEI was and is. DEI was created for Caucasian women. It wasn't created for blacks, Hispanics, anybody other than that. It was created for Caucasian women. When they took away DEI, it not only that they were projecting it to affect other races other than the Caucasians, but it affected more Caucasians than anything. You know,
I agree with you there, but I don't think that it was specifically for white women. I just don't. I think it was for diversity of more inclusion of everybody, including handicap, and stuff like that. I don't think it was just specifically for white women. I think they had but now I will say statistically, white women have been able to have taken advantage of it more than any other
They benefited
class.
from it more.
Benefited from it more.
Correct.
But
That's what he's trying to say.
That's okay. Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that. That I don't think
that's what he's trying to say.
For that. Okay, so go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's a lot of stuff that he spewed, and just like Ronnie said, you have to know a person's background. You got to know where they came from. You have to know just about now in this era now. You have to know a lot of stuff about a person that you're going to follow, because you can jump on that train, and that train might be going, and it's going to run off the cliff somewhere, and you on that train.
Vanessa,
it's just
crazy.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it is.
It's crazy.
Absolutely,
It's crazy.
It absolutely is. Vanessa, would you like to cap off what we've seen here?
So, as far as like DEI, I think one of the things that Charlie Kirk did really masterfully in his misrepresentation of what DEI was like going to accomplish. I think that was honestly, I think that was part of his like mission statement, was to misrepresent DEI. I think he did it super intentionally and methodically and systematically. And if you watch like his videos over time, he sharpened his argument, but he basically was making the same points over and over. And I go back to the Kamala Harris example, because you showed a couple clips in there from the Surrounded he did. It was like Charlie Kirk versus like the 20
people,
the 20 progressives, that episode. And there's several clips from that episode in what the video you just showed. And that episode, there's a segment, and I believe it's the girl with the braids that he was talking to, that he had this part of the conversation with. And he was basically saying, like, he said something like, Kamala Harris is the least qualified person to ever run for vice president, which, point of fact, she's the most qualified person that's ever run for vice president. Yeah. But he went back to this comment that Joe Biden made. And Joe Biden said, like, for my vice president, I'm picking a black woman. Now, in my mind, I think he already had Kamala Harris picked out. Okay. I think he knew exactly who he was picking. And I think he was going, hey, by the way, I got this black lady who's joining me. This picture is going to look a little different than it did before. Let's get this on a different set of rails, whatever. Charlie Kirk likes to represent it as if Biden went in and went, please, okay, so I'm going to back step for a second. The normal process for picking your vice president would be, please hand me all of the qualified candidates. I'm going to go through them and pick out who I like. If Biden didn't have Harris already picked out, what DEI would have done is make sure she's in the pile of people he's looking at.
Exactly.
Right? That's all it does.
That's all it does.
If he didn't have her picked out, she's in the pile because she belongs there. What Charlie Kirk likes to do is pretend that Biden went, hand me all the black women.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to find one that mostly kind of fits, but we're going to make some allowances because we definitely want a black woman. And that's not how DEI works. And that's not what happened. And that specific message, I think, is one of the things that lost her the election, because he was able, and the people that parroted off of him and the people that had him as a guest on their show were able to say things that completely misrepresent what DEI would have done. Yeah. So when Biden makes the statement like, I'm picking a black woman, I truly believe he already had her picked out. But even if he didn't, he was picking from a pool of people qualified. And Charlie Kirk gets to go see. He's not looking at qualifications. He's looking at skin color, and people who benefit from that enjoy that it's dumbed down. They get to pretend and be obtuse about it, and then ride their racist tailcoats, off into the sunset.
This is how you know it's bullshit, is because he picked JD Vance, who was unqualified. He picked Pete Hegseth, who was a Fox News weekend host, to be the Secretary of Defense, when he never commanded more than 100 people, and he never, as a CEO of the businesses that he ran or charities that he ran, was over more than 100 people. And now he's in charge of 3 million people. He picked Kash Patel, who was a podcaster. He picked Dan Bon Jovi, whatever his name is, as a podcaster.
Bad podcaster.
The only one that was semi-qualified, I would say, that qualified enough, was Pam Bondi, because at least she was Attorney General in Florida.
Right.
That was the only one. That was the only one.
But
Robert F. Kennedy was never qualified. Junior.
All right. But this goes back to what Vanessa said. She was already going to be his Attorney General, even before anybody else were. I'm talking about Pam Bondi.
Pam Bondi. No. Right? He wanted old boy. He wanted old boy.
No. Hear me out.
Okay.
You talking about because of Epstein?
So a lot of those people at that level, they think like, oh yeah, Joe Biden is gonna, but the people behind them is the money. The money is gonna put them in a position to say, nope, these are the people that you're gonna look at, and you're gonna decide who you may want to get in, and they may lean a little bit further to other people because of certain things, right? So it doesn't still take away from their qualifications, right? That Kamala Harris, not only was she the most qualified person to go run for freaking vice president, she is the most qualified person to ever run for any high elected official, president or vice president, anybody, right? So people, I think part of it was the messaging. What they did was they cut her, they gave her a short time to actually start running for it, and she still almost won, right? They cut her at the knees at that point, right? She had other strikes against her, right? Some societies don't want women in charge.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
I think that was the biggest one, or one of the biggest. One of the biggest.
Right. So that was part of it, right? 2, she's a very, very educated black woman. A woman. That's 2 strikes. Very educated. 3, she's a black woman, right? So she had a whole bunch of things. Not only she had time against her, she had her education against her. She had her skin melatonin or tone against her, and she didn't have the power behind her that she needed to have because she had more money. She raised more money than anybody had ever gained in that short minute of time. It wasn't any of that. It was just other things that were in play, and it was a part of how they messaged it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Where you got Charlie Kirk's out there saying, "Hey, she's a DEI hire." Okay, well, tell me how anybody else, if you put 2 people together and you close your eyes and you just read off what they got, who in this whole country is going to be as qualified as her? It's very small, very, very, very small number of people that will metal up to that.
All you need to know is he was okay with Pete Hegseth being in charge of the Department of Defense.
No.
That's all. I mean, and the reason I'm saying it boils it down to that. Really, like you can't get more. If you can't tell me that you care about qualifications and you didn't have a problem with that,
100%.
You can't tell me that.
No, not Bobby. Even that, he got a woman who is a wrestling. She the wife of
Linda McMahon to be in charge of education. That has no.
Ain't never taught. Ain't don't have like you ain't never been a teacher in your life. How can you possibly be in charge of education for the entire country?
Exactly.
You got somebody that's in charge of our health that has never been a doctor in his life.
Been a doctor in his life.
Like so,
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
That.
So hold on. You got an 04. Hold on, Lando. You got an 04 reservist who was a reservist, not an active duty person, a reservist. A 04 reservist. Now you gave him almost $1 trillion budget. Are you freaking kidding me?
Who are you talking about?
Yeah, he blew in form of
Hegseth.
No, sir. Hegseth never made it to 04. He never made it 04.
Like a 02.
He was 02.
Yeah,
he was a captain.
No,
he was a
02.
captain.
Wow.
He was a captain, sir.
Yeah, he was 02.
That's
He was 02.
Yeah,
he was a captain.
But I don't know what you guys are even talking about because this is a meritocracy now.
Yeah.
So we're obviously running on a meritocracy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he was 03. He was 03. Go ahead, Orlando.
He wasn't a DI Heiser.
I'm so happy I'm retired. I feel sorry for the ones that's in there now.
Yeah.
Because the things that they got to go through.
Yep.
But when you were talking about experience, Judge Ketanji Brown, she is the most qualified of all of everybody that's sitting on that court. And you know, they talk about how she was a DEI.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
If you look at this woman's resume, it blows everybody out the way. You know, you got what's the Kavanaugh? That goes back to Kirk.
Yeah.
I think Vanessa said something about the we had 5 beers and we both end up naked. You know, that was Kavanaugh.
Yeah,
that was literally Kavanaugh. People don't realize the guy has a drinking problem. Hegseth, he definitely has a drinking problem.
He started on sexual assault case.
Attorney General. She was the Attorney General in Florida, so she helped him. She helped him out in Florida. You know, with a lot of things. This, I don't know what.
I know.
Very tight knit group.
It is. It is, and it's
exactly
completely
what
bullshit.
Vanessa. 100%.
And that's why it goes to everything that he said has been racist, misogynistic, homophobic, Islamophobic. It's centered around the grievance of white folks. That's what it's centered around, and that's why so many are angry of his passing. I want to go ahead and move on.
Robert Kennedy should be ashamed.
I got one other thing, right? And
go ahead.
People always say that, you know, I'm gonna make it quick because I know we got to keep moving.
Yeah,
is that those talking points that Mr. Kirk talked about wasn't his own? That wasn't his talking points. You guys do understand that, right?
Right.
Yeah. He didn't. Yeah, he didn't invent those.
So they didn't come up. He didn't come up and sit down at his desk and say, "This is what I'm gonna talk about." Oh, absolutely not. Right. Not in the beginning. Now at the end, when he started like, wait a minute, we want Epstein files. Now his support started to be like, whoa, that's not what we supposed to be talking about. That's not on the talking point list, brother. You going off script. You go off script. Look what happens to you.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go too far into those conspiracy, to be honest with you, because allegedly, because we got some other things, and I did not have that as a topic, but we can do that at one day. because the left and the right are both saying that the text messages are bullshit. I'm gonna just there's a
Did you
shoehorn
read
on that
them?
one. Yeah, that don't sound like a 22. I'm gonna just be honest. That don't sound like a 22-year-old to me.
It didn't even.
It doesn't. It doesn't. It didn't sound real. But I want
I
to
was
move
waiting
on.
for like the
Go ahead.
doth and the these and the thouists. It was so.
Yeah, it was terrible. It was terrible. But I want to say, before we move on, that it's a disgrace. And Ronnie, this got you so pissed off when you found out the flags would be a half staff. That they sent him a SAM aircraft to go pick up his body and bring him back to Phoenix area. That all of these, I know our local government put the flags at half staff because the president ordered it. The from the MLB teams, from the Yankees to all of the NFL teams, they praised this man as if he was a good human being and he didn't preach hate. And it's so disheartening. It's so and honestly, I have to really search my soul because I love the NFL. It is a lot of my life revolves around the Eagles. I'm not gonna lie. And so I know they weren't one of the teams. They weren't at home that week. I don't think that they would have. They would have been one of the 5 teams that did not celebrate him. I truly do believe that. But the NFL as a whole, they have in racism in the both end zones and Charlie Kirk picture memorializing him on a jumbotron. That's an oxymoron.
They got fines for kneeling.
I was about to get into that. I was just about to get into that.
Go ahead. We're going a couple more minutes on that, and then we're gonna move on.
So hear me out. So if you really pay attention to this, just shows you what level of support that that
white supremacy ideology,
this supremacy is
ideology.
And I think, and honestly, I think it's money. I think they throw that out there as a look over here thing when it's really just about money. They don't care about people with no. If you broke, rich people don't give a fuck about you. I'm gonna just be honest with you. At that level, at that level. That when you see establishments like the NFL, NBA, and all these other large corporations, right, with gazillions of dollars and gazillions of fans around the world supporting this type of thing, and then on the flip side of that, you see a person doing his constitutional right to not stand up for the United States thing.
Yeah.
Kneel.
Never say a single hatred word. Not a single hate word.
And they vilify him, and not only that, they freaking blackball him. Now he can't come back into the
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So that should really let people understand the level.
It's
of
true.
This whole thing,
it's
and that's what people don't understand. This system is built on that, and they don't know. Oh, it's not built on. It is. It's built for rich people and to put their fucking feet on fucking us, really. And people don't really understand that part of it because they want to split us all up and they want us. Oh, it's just the white man. It's the black people. It's Jewish people. It's Muslims. It's blah 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 blah. Ain't got nothing to do with that because ultimately everybody want to be prosperous.
Yep.
And the rich people we don't want you to all to be as prosperous because now we ain't got people to work for us.
Or
and do our bidding. Listen, we ain't got people to go across the seas and to get these bullets through at them and these bombs blown up at them while they people at the house. You think it's rich people over there with Kevlar sleeping in the sand, getting their fucking face blown the fuck off, watching their friends do that shit? If you can subjugate people, if you can subjugate the lower class of people, this is the ultimate way they've been doing it from the beginning of time, and people are starting to continue to wake up to it. And that's
I don't think enough. No, I disagree with you there, but go ahead, Vanessa. Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna piggyback off of Ronnie's point. So 9/11, I know where you were that day, Ship.
Yes, yeah, we were at the same spot,
watching TV and base ops. But for real, so when I got grounded. They moved me to honor guard, and I was in honor guard for almost 2 years before I cross trained. When I was in honor guard, we're talking 2 to 3 months after 9/11, the sports teams started airing the national anthem before the game. And before that, it wasn't on there, right? It's the biggest recruitment tool ever, and I was part of it. I'm standing on the ice at a Reds game or Red Wings, and I'm sitting there. I mean, I did get to see the Pacers get their asses whooped but anyway, like that's a whole other thing. But anyway, like I mean, we went to Phillies games. We went the whole that Jersey block of the Meadowlands, right? We went to all those stadiums for. We went sometimes 2 or 3 games a week to go be the honor guard and hold the flag and let this terrible singer sing, whatever. But it was a recruitment tool. Now all of a sudden, our national pride is on TV, and the enemy is these brown people over here who don't think like us, and they don't want their kids to ride their bikes either. The same mentality started with sports teams because of how near and dear it is to people's hearts, and it's subliminal, but it gets you. And then all of a sudden, recruitment wasn't a problem.
Absolutely.
I think there is more intention besides just. I do think the money and like that military industrial complex, keeping cogs in the wheel is a huge part of this. But by using Charlie Kirk to appeal to that, they're recruiting a very specific new kind of soldier.
Yeah. I would say not a soldier that actually joins the military. They're not a soldier that joins now they will join ICE.
Right.
They're recruiting them big time for ICE.
Right.
Brother Orlando, I'm gonna give you one last time, talk about this topic, then we're gonna move on.
Let me tell you, I have a coworker. He came, I work for the VA. He came from DEA. He was a DEA agent. And I go up there to him. Brian, his name is Brian. He's from Tennessee. He's a white guy, funny white guy. And he don't even try to be funny. So he told me he got a phone call. Well, our assistant director, her husband retired from Air Marshal. So he retired from that. They called him back. So she goes in and asks Brian, well, you think that he should go and join ICE? Brian was like, nah, I wouldn't do that, So he gets a phone call. Somebody tells him, listen, dude, come on. You can come back and work with ICE. You get all the overtime, all the money you want and everything. So Brian was like, man, fuck that shit. And that's just how he talks. He tells him, fuck that shit. You're taking people away from family.
Absolutely.
He said, well, there's a $50,000 bonus. He's like, man, I don't give a fuck about the money. I really don't. So Brian, he is the type of guy, he has read, I'm going to share your podcast, the link with him, because he's a Navy man as well. And he's just a down guy.
Please do. We trying to.
But I go to him.
We trying to go to community, and like I said, everybody's my shipmate. Even if you wasn't in the Navy or anything like that, if you're a civilian, it doesn't matter. This is the Shipwreck Podcast, and everybody's my shipmate. That join the pods, watch the pods, comment. It's an open dialogue, but it's going to be factual. And it's going to be it's going to be respectful. That's the only thing that we ask.
And that's how it always
so we're going to continue on because I wanted to get to the hypocrisy of the Republican Party. I think a lot of this started because if you look at our history, you're gonna have 4 presidents that have been assassinated. We don't have political violence since our inception, I should say. So it didn't start at this point, but I think definitely it enhanced it, and we were all clutching our pearls when Trump came on the stage and he had all of these fights in his rallies in 2015 and 2016 and all of that stuff. And, he was condoning the violence, and we were clutching our pearls like, no, this is not right. This is not right. When he said the Second Amendment people will take care of Hillary and all, like, we was like, this ain't right. This ain't right. Cause it can lead to more. And now we're at the more. So I just want to give a quick thing of why I say that the Republican Party is being so hypocritical right now by saying this is a left problem, regardless of who the shooter was. So here we go.
I love the old days. Do you know what they used to do to guys like that when they were in a place like this? They'd be carried out on a stretcher, folks. Honestly, I hate to see that. Here's a guy throwing punches, nasty as hell, screaming and everything else when we're talking. And he's walking out, and we're not allowed, the guards are very gentle with him. He's walking out like big high fives, smiling, laughing, like to punch him in the face, I'll tell you.
Remember that?
Yeah. I got more than that. I got a whole bunch of that.
We have radicals on the right as well. We have radicals on the left. People are watching all of these videos and cheering. Some people are cheering that Charlie was killed. How do we fix this country? How do we come back together?
I'll tell you something that's going to get me in trouble, but I couldn't care less.
I just want to stop right there for 1 second. I'm going to continue this on. I just want to say this. They said that Obama was the most divisive president that we ever had. He was divisive because he was black, period. That was it. Not anything he said, not anything he did, not his policies, not anything of that. It was just because he was black. Because if Obama was to come here and say, I don't care if we can bring the country together, I could care less. Come on now. That's all I'm going to say. This happened this week, and I'm continuing so we can finish this segment.
The radicals on the right oftentimes are radical because they don't want to see crime.
Making excuses
They don't want to see crime.
Worried about the border.
They're saying, we don't want these people coming in. We don't want you burning our shopping centers. We don't want you shooting our people in the middle of the street. The radicals on the left are the problem. And they're vicious, and they're horrible, and they're politically savvy. Although they want men and women sports, they want transgender for everyone. They want open borders. The worst thing that happened to this country, because I've already solved inflation, costs are down. Look at energy costs. You're going to have $2 gasoline pretty soon. I've solved just about every problem.
This is after Minnesota shooting, and he didn't care less to call them. Political violence, where people were murdered, including a dog. He could care less. Yeah, why would I call him?
Will stand up to crazy Nancy Pelosi, who ruined San Francisco. How's her husband doing, by the way? Anybody know?
Mocking political violence there.
And she's against building a wall at our border, even though she has a wall around her house, which obviously didn't do a very good job.
And why is he still in jail? Why has he not been bailed out? By the way, if some amazing patriot out there in San Francisco or the Bay Area wants to really be a midterm hero, someone should go and bail this guy out. I bet his bail's like $30,000 or $40,000. Bail him out and then go ask him some questions.
Make it out on the front.
That would be fine.
That is Zimmerman, who killed Trayvon Martin.
Right.
Autographs, signing autographs. And I don't know if you noticed or not, he was signing Skittles. He was kind of packs of Skittles because that's what Trayvon had when he died.
It is something that we must all take a step back and say, if they can indict a young boy at the time, now a young man,
Kyle
for
Rittenhouse,
simply defending himself when his life was in danger, they can come after every single one of you. So ladies and gentlemen, please, let's get loud for Kyle Rittenhouse.
Celebrating him. Kyle Rittenhouse.
Multiple capital injuries.
And we cannot forget this one. January 6th. Political violence.
This is now effectively a riot.
There is the gallows.
They've got the gallows outside this Capitol building. It's time to start fucking using it.
For the VP, Mike Pence. This is Donald Trump Jr. mocking Pelosi's attacker. Like, so for them to come out today and say anything, to say anything about we're mocking Charlie Kirk's death or anything like that, which nobody on this podcast has done, nobody I know of personally has done. There's millions and billions of people in this world. Are there people that have done it? Absolutely. I don't know any personally, and I don't condone it, any of it. And lastly, I just want to show this statistic right here. These are murders by politically motivated left-wing and right-wing killers. In the 70s, still more right-wing than left-wing. In the 80s, it was actually more Democrat or left-wing than right-wing. In the 90s, look at it. 25 to 2014, look at it. And now. These are the statistics. And the I can't think of the bureau offhand, but there was a bureau that had the statistics in our government's website, and they went, and Trump has had them completely get rid of the statistics and delete it out the system. That just happened a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
So they know what they're doing. They know that they
100%.
are the violence comes from their end, and it comes from the stuff that they're saying. I'll let you guys talk for a second before we continue.
So for me, can I go real fast?
Go ahead, bro.
We talked about this, I think, weeks ago. This is exactly what they want. I'm trying to tell y'all, right? What is one of the only times a president cannot be taken out of office?
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Why would you not stoke the fire of that? If you look at the trends, when, you know what I'm saying, let's say in the last 10 years, basically when this administration basically was, or this person was really hyped up, right? In the last 10 years, look how many right-wing things are happening. That number is going to continually grow, right? Unless we got, I'm like I always say every week, Bobby, I bless you, brother, for allowing this type of thing to be put out here, and you doing this so we can get the word out, so people can actually do their own research and look at the real facts about things, and not just look at things that are being fed to them with their algorithms. Because a lot of the stuff that they're getting fed to them is specific for specific people, right? That's why we don't see a lot of these right-wing things that are happening. Some of the people didn't even probably know about the Minnesota congresswoman and her husband and her dog, and the other people that got killed that same day. You know what I'm saying? They probably don't even know that happened. And for them, they like, what? President Trump, what? Ain't nothing happening. That's one of the other things. He said, oh, that was just fake news. Of course, it would be fake news to them because they ain't even heard about it. You feel what I mean? So a lot of that stuff is like what people are doing is, and again, and I hope I pray that this continues to happen, is people starting to really, really pay attention to what this clown is doing, right? This isn't new. Again, this is part of the game plan. They want riots. They want divisive. They want people to go out here and do all this crazy stuff so they can say, oh, this is the country's out of control. I need to take control. Everything's federalized now, right? That's what they're trying to do. That's why they're trying to take away all the statistics. That's why they're trying to decentralize or dehumanize people. Like people don't feel as bad because the National Guard is on their streets.
Yep,
right?
they're vermin, they're poisoning the blood. Those are the things that he said.
Right. So they're doing all these things, these steps on purpose. What people are starting to do is like, oh, hell no. We want the Epstein files. First off, I don't even say that enough times. Epstein files. Stop looking over here. Look over here. They're trying to protect a bigger picture that people don't really want to realize it. And all of these things that people don't really understand, and I hope they really start continuously waking up, is watching these podcasts, continue to open their minds up, to learn the truth about, hey, this is not how things are supposed to be. In a sense, I'm kind of glad that it's happening because people are going to see this and be like, we are never going to have that happen again. When they kick his ass out of the office, the Republicans are going to never, ever get in charge again. In my opinion,
man. I don't know. You got some rosy colored glasses on.
No. Look at look at the elections that are starting to happen across the country.
And I agree with you.
Are not winning these seats. They're losing seats, right? Tremendous. That's why they had to try to gerrymander all this bullshit, right? That's why that should tell you in a sense that obviously their message is waning, right? They're waning. And it's not going to happen fast. It's not going to happen as fast as we would want it to happen. But it's going to happen because that's why I believe in the system, and the system is going to work.
All right. Vanessa?
So I recognize the trend that you're talking about, Ronnie. Like, I see what you're saying, but I think things like Kirk being assassinated completely erase all that progress. I think you're right about, there are more people paying attention, and there are Trump voters who were like casual voters who are like flipping, or who are getting more information they've messed around and they've found out about something specific, and now they're starting to like do more research. But I also think that there is a new a new base being stirred up right now, because they've got all these people and all they're hearing is the crazy left who they're super unsatisfied with Trump and look at all the good stuff Trump is doing. And they came after this good white Christian boy who, you know, like this paragon of virtue. And now they're pissed off when they were not even engaged before.
Yeah.
And I think that's the problem. Like, I see the trend that you're talking about, but I don't think it's big enough to combat what they're stirring and what they're keeping alive.
I think that's a great point. I just want to add, I'm going to play this quick video real quick, and then Orlando, I want you to talk here because this is exactly what you're saying. Because I'm about to play a clip of the Fox News Hope who said that homeless people should be euthanized. That's literally what he said out of his mouth. And so after that, we've had a homeless person hanged, and we've had a shooting that injured two shootings in Minneapolis of homeless encampments. So let's watch the video, and then we're going to continue to talk.
Billions of dollars to mental health and the homeless population. A lot of them don't want to take the programs. A lot of them don't want to get the help that is necessary. You can't give them a choice. Either you take the resources that we're going to give you, or you decide that you're going to be locked up in jail. That's the way it has to be now.
Or involuntary lethal injection or something. Just kill them.
Yeah, Brian, why did it have to get to this point?
Just kill him. Just kill him.
I know about that one.
Yeah.
I heard about it. But they came back. The guy that came back, he
apologized. Yeah, I don't care about the apology. And the reason why is because since then, homeless people have been attacked. Not to say the homeless people don't get attacked, you know, in any way in our society or in the world or anything like that. But words can create actions. 100%. And when you have this, and that's the thing I was saying, like in the beginning of why this week was so hard for me, was because I was listening to so much of this hate and so much of this anger, and so, you know, that it like really drained me. It truly drained me. And I can see that how somebody that's impressionable, that don't have a lot going on with their lives, that feel disenfranchised and feel like the victim, can say, you know what, I'm gonna take it out on these people because they don't deserve to be here anyway. We got a new person. I'm gonna come to you here. I'm coming to you, Rube, in a second. Give me a second. Orlando, do you have anything? You got anything, Orlando, before we go to Rube?
No, I don't have anything. I do want to thank you guys for letting me be in on this podcast. I'm getting ready to go put my grandson to sleep.
Okay,
so
understand that. Trust me, I do.
I got one thing, Bobby. So a comment came on there. We always talking about things that are bad. The problem. What's the solution? We already talked about solution every time we talk about it. Go out and vote. Go vote. Don't sit your tail on your couch, or don't let your people sit their tail on their couch. Go and vote. Get involved with your communities and get the word out to the people that need to hear it. That is the solution.
I agree with you there, and the reason why is because we don't have enough. I'm saying the left and all the people that make it a majority of this country do not, in my opinion, don't have enough guns, and we don't need a civil war. We just don't need one. We should not have to fix this with a civil war. We need to fix this with elections and fix this by educating people. That being said, Ruben, go ahead, my brother. Welcome back to the pod. Welcome back to the couch. And something moved you to get on today. So what's going on?
You know, Charlie Kirk was in the news. I had to come be involved and see what was going on with this one. I'm sorry I'm late, man.
It's all good.
Harvesting some vegetables and stuff. So I kind of
move your camera down a little bit. We can only see your eyes. There you go. Perfect.
Hold on.
There you go.
I got you. I'm trying to get. Okay, we good.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been all in the news. Me and my mother had a discussion about it earlier. So when I seen the text, after I got out the garden, I said, "Let me hop on and see what's going on." That's all.
Mm-hmm. So how do you feel about? I don't know how much you got a chance to watch, or how do you feel about them lionizing? I'm gonna have two-part question for you. Actually, I'm gonna ask you both all in the same breath. One, how do you feel about what they're doing with Charlie Kirk? Do you think he was a racist? Do you think that what they're doing with the government and these teams and these corporations are doing by making him feel like he's a martyr is good? And lastly, do you regret voting for Donald Trump?
I'm gonna ask the last one first. No, I don't. I still don't regret vote for Trump because what he's doing, what's happening is what I expected him to do. I'm just waiting to see what we gonna do.
So before we get to the Charlie Kirk stuff, because I think this is very important to talk about, how do we? Because Keith has said on here. I'm just take up your face for just a second. You know, what do we actually do about it? What do you say we should do about it?
Bobby, I'm gonna go back to that same question. Well, that same thing I asked you before. That's what I think we should do about it. You know what I mean? Sit down, work on our own problems, and take ourselves out of everybody else's thing until we figure out our own problems. So I would say sit down and take a time out. Take a time out.
I don't think we can afford to take a time out, but that's my personal thing. So what do you think about Charlie Kirk and everything as well, as you know?
Well, racist. I'm not surprised, you know, that the government done lowered the flag, the half-mast, you know, for this man who won't shit for real. That's my opinion. I ain't shedding no tears or losing no sleep over the situation. I think it was horrific for them college students to even see something like that on the campus. You know, even to have to experience that. That was horrible, I'm sure, for those people, those children, you know, young adults that were there. But it's not, the way the government's behaving now is not outside of their normal behavior or their historical behavior.
100%.
I agree with you there. I can't say that you're wrong there. However, again, I still don't see how taking us this far back where we're putting our democracy at risk can move us forward. I just don't see it. I just don't. And I hope one day that you know, you can explain it more to me. Because I just don't see how going backwards and voting to go backwards is going to push us forward. I just don't see it. Vanessa, do you have anything? Go ahead, Root, before you.
No, I'm saying just to respond to what you said. I think some of us have a disillusion to what we believe is progress.
You broke up a little bit. We couldn't understand. You broke up there.
I think I might have hit my finger on the little mic. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah.
I think we have some of us have a disillusion to what progress really is. You know what I mean? Begging somebody for respect without demanding it, and then, you know, they get tired of you begging and just give you something, ain't really progress.
I'm sorry, I hate to interrupt you, but you're saying that so you think that Martin was Martin Luther King begging? Was that how you would qualify that? Is Martin Luther King was begging?
Not at the end. Not at the end. No, I wouldn't even say he was begging. He was, because he was disruptive. Okay. He was very disruptive. So because he was disruptive, I won't say that.
So can you give me examples of figures and or, you know, people and or, you know?
Well, if you want to just go to, when we looking at the sit-ins, one of our biggest issues, if we go to the sit-ins, we were begging to be in a restaurant that didn't want us, as opposed to making our own.
We had those. So we had those, and we used those, but they were separate and not equal. And when they felt like it, when for whatever reason, whatever reason it was, they would tear it down, bomb it, and do other things to it. So just having our own is not enough. There's plenty of black businesses right now, but we still aren't where we need to be.
The issue is protecting what you build. If you build something without already knowing how you're going to protect it, you have no reason to even build it in the first place, because anybody could come tear it down. The first thing when you build something is how are you going to keep it? How are you going to protect that asset, that property, whatever it is you're building? And honestly, we do not have, as a collective, our people do not have the same, what's the word I'm looking for? Do not have the same disposition towards violence and bothering people as they do.
I would agree with you there, but hold on. I want to say this. Go ahead.
Come on.
Yeah, go ahead.
They have we got a problem. I believe in giving credit where credit due, and can't nobody kill and murder like white people. Credit where credit due. Anything I learned about firearms, anything I learned about violence, not all, but a good majority of it, it's come from learning from white people. They are the greatest at it. I promise you, don't nobody do it better. I guarantee you, nobody does it better. And you got to give credit where credit due.
So let me.
We're not willing to go to the same extent that they're, or even match the aggression or violence that they inflict on us to keep us from progressing. We don't want to fight nobody. We don't want to hurt nobody. We just want to progress. But they're willing to take it to a violent level to keep us from progressing that we aren't willing to match.
So let's play out your scenario. If we were to be violent, it's played out.
No.
Okay, be protective. Let's say we're being protective. Okay, be violent. Okay, but you're saying that you got to be willing to be that way. I do believe you said that though, right? Or am I wrong?
We don't have what I'm saying is where they're willing to go with it, we aren't willing to go with it. We don't have
so what let's say so what would be the difference? What would be the difference if we had that willing to go with it?
We don't need it. We don't need that because we're not the same people. We
so
don't
what are
have
you saying? You're not saying anything.
Drives and I'm saying
the reason I'm saying it because
I'm saying
the reason I'm asking you this is because you're saying we need to have the willingness to do what they do, but then you're saying we don't need that, or we don't need to do that.
We have to acknowledge that they're willing to create a level of violence to keep us from progress. Acknowledge that they're willing to take that there, and we in no level have matched that violence or even tried to.
I agree with you there, but there's two ways.
So violence is
I
not
agree.
the answer. I told you, they're the greatest at it. They're the greatest at it. That is not something we should be competing in.
And I'm happy that you said that.
That is
because you just made my point for me. If violence is not the answer, the only other way is to do it peacefully. The only way to do it peacefully is through laws. And if you elect somebody, if you vote for somebody, hold on, let me finish. If you elect somebody and vote for somebody that are changing the laws to move us backwards or interpreting the laws that move us backwards, we cannot progress. So if we're not going to use violence, you tell me how else can we progress to doing what we do to becoming a better place?
I'm gonna say the same thing I always say, Bobby. Stop playing games. Put the games down until we are able to take care of ourselves on a basic level as a collective. If all of our people were put together in one collective body as a human being, we would be a child. Because basically, we do not have the ability to take care of our own basic needs that every other human on this planet has demonstrated they can do. What we need to do is focus on fixing our communities. We don't need to be playing on nobody's court. We don't need to be playing on nobody's field. We need to sit down and stop playing games and take what's happening in front of us seriously. When like you said, Martin Luther King, they weren't playing no games. It wasn't no
again, what you're saying is still is complete and utter oxymoron to me. And the reason why I'm saying that is because you're saying we need to build up our own and we need to get to a better place as a people, right? One of the best avenues to do that is with capital and with education. Would you agree?
Best ways? No. The best way to move forward is first you got to have unity and respect for self. We do not move as a collective with integrity, dignity, and respect for self as a collective. When you look back in the 60s and those times, the conversations we were having were more serious. The way we dressed were more serious, and the way we interacted with our family and the wives that we had before the marriage rate is what it is was more serious. It wasn't a game. We got too comfortable in everything. We think everything's a game, and it isn't. And I'm gonna say this last thing, Bobby.
Go ahead.
And we reactive to an issue. We know we got enough problems out in this community to give everybody every one of us a job. We got enough problems in our community to give every last one of our people a job. We don't have time to play. But we think, all right, we'll just wait for the next problem to pop up, then we'll get active, or we'll just wait. No, you don't have to vote. Sitting down and your action is your vote. Why are you going to wait to vote for it? We got to do this every day. We shouldn't wait for an election. Do this every day.
So again, I'm gonna disagree with you because simply, and we got to, because I want to go back to what the topic was about, because we can talk about this all day. And continue on with the other stuff. But I just want to say this: violence is not the answer. So it has to be peacefully done, right? And
but Bobby, when you say peacefully, what those sit-ins were peaceful, right? Mm-hmm. But they were damn sure disruptive.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. There's nothing wrong with getting in good trouble. Good trouble. Nothing wrong with that. I have no problem with that.
That's all. Good trouble is a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Good trouble is a good thing.
Without violence, they have to show who they are. We don't have to be who they are. We just have to be who we are to the best of our ability, and anybody against us will show who they are. It's up to us to move that.
I just want to say this and to end it and go and move on, because like again, we got to be peaceful and do it, and we have good violence and be disruptive. But again, we need capital and we need education so that we can take our people to a better place. And both of those things, this administration is taking away from Black folks. And so he can't take it away. So
the government
is that what
making it illegal for us to read and write? Did this same government we're talking about not make it illegal for us to read and write?
Absolutely they did. But if you're allowing and telling them, hey, I'm voting for you to put your boot on my neck, we can't. It makes it harder to progress. And I will never ever change that. And I don't see how. And again, we can have a whole podcast, and maybe I need to sit with you and have a podcast with that.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead, because I want to go on.
Real quick.
Sorry, he said the foot on the neck. I'm in here, but to get the foot off your neck, you know what you got to do, Bobby? You got to stand up. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. All right, real quick. So how have like minorities progressed, through violence or through other means?
Minorities.
Yeah, how have we progressed? Have we progressed through violence, or have we progressed through other means?
Who?
I mean, just any minorities, men, women, Black folk. How do we get to where we are right now?
It is, but Ronnie, okay. When you say minorities, you talk about
just say Black people. No, we're gonna talk about Black folk. How did we get to where we are? Did we do it? Hold on. Did we do it through violence, or did we do it by other means?
In this country or across the world?
This country.
Well, it was definitely a lot of violence occurred, whether you learned about it or not. It was hundreds of slave revolts throughout.
There were.
Right. Hold on, I got them.
We ain't just talking about the ones they like to talk about. So it was violence. We can't match their violence. We're not organized enough to do any type of violence to nobody. I do not support us engaging in any violence.
Okay.
Right. So here's the point I was trying to make, right? Mm-hmm. Violence, people always think kinetic and violence, right? You got to punch a person in the face because they try to punch you in the face, right? Or they did something to you and you got to do something to them back. There's other ways to be violent with people, right? Well, how you be violent with this, how it works for us right now is be violent with your vote. Go vote. Go freaking, don't spend your freaking, hold on, hear me out. Hear me out, Ruben.
The vote though.
Hear me out, Ruben. Hear me out.
Voting
has actually no, it's all good, bro. Voting has definitely changed the landscape of this freaking country. That's one. Two is money, right? The way that things got changed back in the 60s is how Martin Luther King, how they did it was they used their economic pressure on things to get changed. You don't want us to use your things? Great. We won't use your buses. We won't do this. And what changed? That shit changed immediately, right? Because
it took a year. It took a year.
But what I mean by that, it was 400 years to get to that point. But a year of nobody spending no money, that shit changed in a year. So
right.
Hear me out, bro. Nobody wins. Listen, nobody wins in a war. Nobody. They always say people there's victors and there's losers. Nobody wins in a war in the long term, because now I'm gonna have animosity towards you forever. Right? No matter how this income, you may be ahead right now, but my animosity towards you because you killed my brother is gonna be forever. And I'm telling all my people from where I start, from all my kids gonna know that you a piece of shit. You feel what I mean? So nobody's gonna win that way. What you do is you go out there, you legislate, you get your votes right, use their system. You can't, we again, like I agree with you. This isn't our system. This is a rich person's system. Rich people wrote this system. It wasn't poor people, right? So who do you think they wanted to maintain their dominance in? You think they wanted to give it to poor people? Absolutely not, right? So what you got to do is you got to use what they covet the most is money, right? I'm going to use your system. You gave me money. I'm going to take it, and I'm not going to use it, and then you're not going to be able to spend it, right? So that's how you get things changed. Look how quickly things have changed when people start saying, I'm not going to go to, say, Target. Mm-hmm. Look how fast that changed. Mm-hmm. Look how fast. That's where we need to come together at. In that aspect of it, it's like economically, what we should do is say, you know what, that business isn't doing what's right for the people. You're not going to get any more of our money. That business isn't doing what we're supposed to do. You're not going to get patrons to come in to your establishment so you can make more money. Look and see how quickly things change. And that's where we got to concentrate our thought processes are. And money comes from voting. Go out there and donate to the people that you feel that are people that's in the same view as you, right? Go out there and help them and establish and build that money, because those people at that level know what it takes to get things changed. It takes money. And if they don't have enough money to affect change, it's never going to change.
Yeah.
And that's what I was trying to say earlier, is look at the level of how this dominance is. You already have so much money and togetherness against all of this crap, and that pushes up to they call it racism. It's racism about money. Your race, you're not in a race of money.
I think that's part of it, but it's bigger than that.
No. I'm not saying that's the only list point. That's the biggest point of it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's what people don't really understand. It takes money to beat money, and that's where we are right now. But the system is inherently for rich folk to continue the dominance, and that's what it is. Who do you think sat at that table that he got around him? You think he got poor people that's around him?
No, it's all billionaires. He got the richest cabinet. I think.
So that's what should tell you who making all these laws.
And I understand that.
It ain't the puppet. It's the people that's got the strings.
Yeah.
Guiding that puppet.
All right. Ruben, I'm gonna give you the chance to respond, but I want Orlando to speak first, and then I'll give you a chance to respond, and then I'm gonna go to the next topic, because I just want to say something real, put some other stuff out there, and then because we got to start to shut it down. But go ahead, Orlando.
Go ahead and listen. Go ahead and talk. I was just listening.
Okay. All right. All right. Ruben, would you like to respond to Ronnie real quick before we continue
on? Yes. Life is what we go through. Life is inexplainable. Like, I can't find words to describe what life is. But what life is definitely full of is confrontation. And cannot avoid confrontation. And I don't know if you all agree, but I say that we have not started any confrontation with any of these people.
Mm-hmm.
We have not been the initiator of any confrontation with these people, regardless of whatever horrific actions been done to us. We cannot run from confrontation. The one thing that Ronnie said, I didn't agree with everything, but one thing that you did say that I do agree with is that it's economics. And if you may not have been listening to what I was saying, or I may not have explained it the best way, but when I say take a time out, when I say sit down, stop playing games, stop getting on the court, stop getting on the field, that is an economic decision. When you say, when you mention that bus boycott, the Montgomery bus boycott, and you seen what that did in 1 year, what is the NFL or the NBA going to do? How is the country going to, if the country changes for a bus in 1 year in one city, Montgomery, in one city, in 1 year, it changes everything. What is it going to do in 1 year or two, not involving in any type of sports? What is that going to look like? That's power.
I can see that.
That's
I can see that. I can see that.
That's nonviolence, and that's economic power.
Yeah, that's you're right. I can't say that you're wrong there.
That would
You're right.
That would destroy the economy for
it would.
Oh my
it would.
God,
it absolutely would.
Flip upside down.
It absolutely would.
They would be running out their doors to give us anything we ask for. I don't care what it is. We can say we want a purple flamingo and 2 pink elephants. They're going to find them, and if they can't find them, they're going to die them.
I can't say that you're wrong there. I can't say that you're wrong.
That's real. That's what I'm trying to say.
That's a good one. I can't say that you're wrong there. I can't say that you're wrong there. So there are avenues that I even think about the box. That was thinking about the box, and you're absolutely correct there.
I'm not talking no violence. Violence. We're not organized. We have nothing. We don't make no guns. We don't even need to be thinking about violence, because before you go to war, you got to know what you're fighting for. You got to know what's going to happen. What you already got to know what you're going to do once the war's over. We don't even know that we in a war. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying. You touched on a lot of good points, Ronnie. I appreciate your input for sure, but I just wanted to just push back on that little point. That's all.
No, excellent. No, excellent. I think you made some great points.
I 100%.
Yeah, I think you made some great points right there. I can't lie about that. Vanessa, you have anything before we move on?
How you came up, Bobby?
Yeah,
we talked about Charlie Kirk yesterday. I said, all right, I always hit you with the same question regarding the football. I hit you with it all the time, right? What'd you do?
I'm still watching.
Supposed to have this call.
Yeah, you're right. I'm still watching. I'm still watching. I'm becoming more and more inflated because, like I talked about it earlier. I think you want on the pod when I said, they got in racism in the end zone, but they got Charlie Kirk moralized on the jumbotron, and that is a problem. That is a problem.
And to drop the flag at half mast.
Let's just skip, dog. Can we please? Oh my God.
Is that not?
Dude, I'm still upset about that shit, man.
Yeah. All right, I want to move on because I wanted to play what Trey Reed has said this week about anger, and then we're going to go into we're going to have a couple minutes to talk about what she said, and then we're going to learn something real quick. All right.
So this is what we need to face, and as a country, if we don't start facing it and face that our problem is the right, not just the actual violence that they're doing, but the way that they're grooming young people to be violent. You all want to talk about Black culture? You want to have a conversation about hip hop culture? Let us have that in the Black community. We don't need y'all for that. You need to have a conversation about what's happening to young white men. You must have a conversation with them. You must find out why they're so angry that they're picking up the guns you're letting them get, that you're making easy for them to get. And why are so many mass shootings happen? This is an actual serious conversation we need for our country. And this conversation cannot be done by Barack Obama. Y'all are not going to listen to him. It can't really be done by Bernie Sanders, although some of them listen to him. It can't be done by AOC. Jasmine Crockett can't do it. You on the right have to do it. And I don't know if there's a conservative who has the esteem of enough fellow conservatives to make that happen. Y'all ain't going to listen to Mitt Romney. But there's got to be somebody that you guys are willing to listen to say that it's enough is enough. Why are y'all so angry? You have the White House, you have both houses of Congress, you have a Supreme Court that is completely obedient to your president. They're willing to give him unlimited power. They're willing to say that he can take SEAL Team 6 and kill anybody he wants. They were willing to affirm that. They're willing to say that ICE can racially profile anybody they want. The United States Supreme Court has said you can racially profile Latinos based on their accent or the way they look. You guys have everything you want. You have legal racial profiling. You've ended DEI. You've ended affirmative action. You get all the best jobs, even if you're not qualified. You can be a Fox Weekend host and be the Defense Department's Secretary of Defense. You can be Kash Patel and be a podcaster who wants to go to Valhalla and run the FBI, as long as you're conservative. You have everything. Why are y'all so angry? What the fuck are you angry about? You've banned all of our books. You've banned Black history. You banned the 1619 Project. You don't have to compete with women for jobs. You've chased them out of the military. You've chased them out of the senior positions in the Department of Defense. You've gotten rid of all the Black history in the museums. Museums are terrified. I have contacts that I'm talking to inside of the Interior Department, people who are running all of those spaces where you can go and see a Civil War memorial or something. The people who work in these places are terrified. They're afraid to tell the real history. The people who are working for the federal government are afraid to say the word Black. You guys have canceled Black scholarships. You're damn near, I guess, ready to get rid of HBCUs. Donald Trump just recently said they're not going to fund any minority serving institution. Y'all have gotten rid of that. You've gotten rid of help for Black kids to go to college. What more do you want? What are you so angry about? I go every so often, I go and lurk and look on X Twitter. Y'all are the maddest people ever. Y'all are so angry for people who have everything. Y'all said you want your country back. You have it. The rest of us are sitting back and trying to keep our peace and preserve our peace while you all are running the country.
Vanessa, what do you have to say about that?
So I think that was just all excellent points. So we've had this conversation before. I have to have a very different conversation with my white son than you have to have with your Black sons, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have to have a conversation about, you know, you know, when you have extra, you don't hoard it. You make sure everybody's got enough. You don't need go up for your second serving before everybody's had their first. You don't, you know, it's difficult, especially where I live and the things that are influencing my kids that I don't have no control over, you know, kids on the bus, people at school, you know, people in the store making comments that we overhear, that kind of thing. There's a, you know, we live in the middle of a cornfield. It's the most cliche red part of a very blue state where I live. And there's a lot of things to point at if you have no curiosity about how problems became problems, or the institutional and the structural makeup, the design that went into making things the way they are. And to have a conversation about fairness and equality and equity and, you know, those, it's difficult when I'm having to have this conversation about, I'm losing the word that I'm looking for. Not over consuming, being conservative in what you take, but being generous in what you give back. When every other message to this white boy is you're special, you don't have to work as hard, you deserve it. That's the baseline. And I'm trying to explain, no, you don't deserve it more than anybody else. No, it's not a white slot. No, you shouldn't have more because no, you didn't work harder. No, somebody, you know, it's the juggling, finding the truth and the compassion and the human element of the ugliness and to combat the messages that you're just like bombarded with all day. It's really difficult, and it's sometimes it's hard to explain, you know, and not necessarily my kid, but just in general to other, you know, white people. They paint this picture that resources are finite. There's not enough housing, there's not enough money, there's not enough medical care. That's not true. None of that is true. They restrict the resources in order to have us pecking at each other to fight over them. And I think what Ruben and Ronnie said about the power of the economics and the power of collective boycotting, the power of how you choose to interact with society and what you put out into it. I think those things, they cannot be overstated, their importance and the effect that they have in a peaceful way. But I think that legally we need to do something about information and the way that information is disseminated. And I don't know if you've ever seen the show The Newsroom.
Oh, I love that show.
Okay. So he's got like a part on there where he talks about like when Congress gave when Congress gave the airways to the people, they forgot to ask for unsponsored informational time where nobody's paying for the commercial breaks. So you can talk about whoever, you can say whatever. It's not slanted. It's not, just facts. Somebody who is ready to talk about the instances that happen without slants, without emotion, without coloring it one way or the other. Just, there was a shooting today, 4 people died, more to come. Turns out those 4 people were children and the shooter has been apprehended. We don't need all the other details until you know all the details. So there's like 2 things. One, Fox is going to spin it the way they hope it turns out. MSNBC is going to spin it the way they hope it turns out. And then a week later, when we have all the information, everybody's done listening.
Yeah.
And so now that part gets clouded. So one, I have to know right this moment, right this second, fill in the blank, 24-hour bullshit, fill in the time, speculation that goes on before the facts are in hand. That's a problem. Second, the journalism is an art. It is a study. It is something you need to learn how to do unbiasedly, correctly. You need to learn one source is good versus this source is unreliable. And, I have 3 sources who confirm, that kind of thing. And that's not happening anymore. And even on places where they look like they're attempting it, whoever's paying for that commercial break is controlling what comes out of their mouth. We have to get rid of that so that the information people are getting is actually factual. And so you can't lie to somebody and say, this community by existing is hurting you.
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago, Joel said something about like the immigrants were getting money that even citizens weren't getting. Those are 2 different pots of money. Those are 2 different programs. And you don't have to be mad at each other. Both people can be helped. Both things can be accomplished. The way we spend our money and the way those things are allocated, that's decided by your vote.
Yeah.
You have to participate in all the parts. You have to participate at every level to have all the information. And they make it so difficult on purpose.
All right, Ruben, I'm going to you and then Ronnie. Then we're going to learn some history. Rube, how did you feel about what Joy had to say and what Vanessa had to say? What Joy Reed said about the anger. Why are they so angry?
Well, one thing I want to say is I appreciate Vanessa being on the call and giving her input because that's very valuable. So, and you said great things, and I just want to commend you on that because you in the middle of a black conversation. You know what I mean? So I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you giving your opinions and your thoughts. Is very much appreciated.
I appreciate being allowed
absolutely
to participate.
But I got some good news for you real quick, Bobby. My little homies from on my street just popped up and they was like, man, what's going on? I was like, man, it's just, some people's doing podcasts, they young dudes, young dudes, you know what I'm saying? My little homie on the pod trying to get better.
Oh, how is he breaking up now? Damn. Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit. You're breaking up a little bit.
Huh?
You was breaking up.
Can
Go
you
ahead.
hear me, Bobby? Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hey, come on, y'all. Come on. Introduce yourself real quick.
We can't see anybody.
Hey, man, go.
Well, that's good.
Introduce yourself.
What's
This the
going
homie,
on?
Lil J.
I'm on the band.
Yeah, we can't see anybody. For some reason, we can't see anybody.
Can you hear me?
You can hear you, not see.
Can you hear me, Bobby?
Yes.
All right, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna come out. I'm gonna jump out and jump back in. Okay, is that cool?
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, jump out. I'm jumping right back in.
All right, so for me, Vanessa, spot on, 100,000%. That was spot on. I mean, you hit every wicket that needs to be said, right? So we talk about Trey Reed. Hold on, Ruben.
I still can't see you, Rube. We still can't see you.
Trey Reed was 1,000% correct. But you got to remember that even though, and this is why people are mad. And I'm gonna tell you why people are mad, right? In my opinion, a large majority of people are angry or mad because they see progression going, even with all the things that are against people, all the things that are against, all the weight that people get to put on their back. We still can carry it and still rise up and still continue to grow. And I'm not just talking about one demographic. I'm talking about an overall collective. The bigger number, the togetherness is actually, to me, in my opinion, in my opinion, is growing. Right? It's not just us going to be able to. And I hear what Ruben's saying, but it's never going to be just one demographic is going to pull each other up. We can all destroy each other by not being in the same circles. All you got to do is take your circle out of it, and it's going to collapse. Right. So you gotta have support from every angle of it, but it has to be a majority. And I get what you're saying. You have to have a majority of people in that group actually doing what they're supposed to be doing. And it's not where it's supposed to be at. And in my opinion, I think it is. I think the larger majority of the United States people are 100% against a lot of these things that are happening. It's just they're so far apart where you might see 10 people, 100 people, 1,000 people doing something over here, but they don't see the other 110,000 people over there because they're not doing it together. They might be saying the exact same thing at different times and not realize that they should just get together in a conglomerate way and say, hey, this is what we're going to do. Vanessa, you're 100% right. The topics that come out in news, even Fox says they're not a news channel.
Oh, they still say it. They still say it.
Right. But listen, right. However, but the people that are at the 6th grade level that think that they see everything that's on television is 100% correct because they don't go and fact check it.
That's true.
So whoever putting this money behind Fox and all these other people, again, don't look at the people that's in the front. Look at the people that's holding the strings. Look at the people that's making the narrative of the show, of the movie, that you don't really see. You don't see the director of a movie. You see what the director's vision is. It's the exact same thing that's happening right now. That you got to go back. You got to look back into who's driving this and why they're driving it. And you'll always come up to rich people want to stay rich forever. Period. That's what it's going to be about.
I agree with you there. All right, Rube, you up? Can you? Hello?
Oh, we can see
you.
Yeah, we got you. Yeah, we got you.
Yeah,
we got you. Yeah, we got you loud and clear, and you good.
Young dudes on the block, they heard us talking and just want to introduce themselves. Go ahead.
How y'all doing?
What's good? Take your mask off, man.
Yeah, take your mask off. Take your mask off. Ain't no need for a mask right here. How you doing, young man?
They in a whole nother state. They can't get you in no trouble. They can't call the police on you.
Man,
we not the ops, dog. We not the ops.
We ain't nothing to call the police for. We talking about life. You guys are more than welcome to come on the pod and listen, or just listen and learn some things. That's what the pod is about. It's about learning and sharing. You guys are more than welcome to come on anytime and learn some things.
And actually getting their perspective is
getting y'all's perspective. We're gonna have some different pods for the young folks to get on there. I'm waiting for my son to
hold on, man. Hold on. I got one more for you.
Go ahead.
What up, yo?
What's up, young man?
That's his brother right there.
How y'all doing? We doing good. We're doing good.
Oh, y'all got mask on for y'all got COVID or something?
Yeah.
I'm just fucking with y'all, dog.
He said chill.
I'm just messing with you, bro. Hey, we want to make y'all laugh real quick, though.
Yeah, but hey,
break
y'all
the ice
welcome
down
to
a
come
little
on
bit,
here.
man.
Yeah, y'all welcome to come on here and learn. You're welcome to continue to talk to your brother Ruben and learn from him as well. He's got some positive things and he's about positivity. So that's what I would tell all of y'all, to stay in a positive place and learn. You know what I mean?
I gotta get off house around.
Okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But you got to learn from your mistakes. You got to learn from your mistakes and try to make right choices. That's what life is about. Trying to make as many right choices as possible. And if you continue to do that, life will continue to be better for you than it is today. That's the God's honest truth. All right.
Get you some positive
That
mentors.
sounds good.
Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna tell Ruben to give y'all my number so y'all can call and talk to me. I'll talk to him all day.
100%.
Yeah, I just wanted to, they pulled up on me, so I just wanted to allow, and they was listening, so I just wanted to introduce, and I was telling, hey, if you get on, they love to hear what the young folks got to say. I said,
yeah. We want to hear from them. We definitely do. You know what I mean? All right, so we're going to move on. We're going to move on to the next thing, which is again, after every episode, we're going to learn something. And so this one I learned a couple of weeks ago, and I was able to find a good video on it so we can all learn together, because I had no idea about this woman here.
Some of the most important advancements in modern medical research can ultimately be traced back to a black woman who worked on a tobacco farm before World War II. Her name was Henrietta Lacks. In February 1951, Lacks was diagnosed with an aggressive form of cervical cancer at the Johns Hopkins Hospital. Unbeknownst to her, a sample of her cells was sent to a tissue lab. A cell biologist isolated and then multiplied it.
As it turned out, the cells did not die, as would normally be the case. And in fact, they were doubling at this phenomenal rate. They would just keep replicating.
Although these weren't the first human cells to be grown in a lab, this was the first time they survived more than a few days. This huge medical breakthrough allowed researchers to conduct experiments on human cells outside of the body. The cells were given the name HeLa, a combination of the first two letters of Henrietta Lacks' first and last names. Although they carry her name, Lacks, who passed away at the young age of 31, would never know that her cells had been extracted for scientific research. Lacks' family members only learned that her cells had been harvested 2 decades after her death. A Rolling Stone journalist contacted them and revealed that Lacks' cells had been duplicated and then used for research by countless scientists. The article called the work a critical tool in medical research. While HeLa cells have played a crucial role in scientific advancement, the fact that Lacks herself never consented to the research means that her cells were used unethically. What's more, her case was part of a long tradition of the use of African American bodies without their consent for medical and scientific research, dating back to slavery and including the infamous Tuskegee syphilis study.
It was part of a culture of not respecting the core humanity of black folk and how they were being treated either by medical researchers or even by physicians.
Despite the ethical debate around the harvesting of Lacks cells, scientists have continued to use the immortal HeLa cell line all over the world. Research involving polio vaccines, chemotherapy, HIV/AIDS, cloning, and IVF have all benefited from the HeLa cell line.
So again, I did not know about Henrietta Lacks until a couple of weeks ago, and it's interesting. Vanessa, it seemed like you knew about her already. Can't hear you.
Sorry, I muted it. There's a documentary about her on Netflix.
Really?
Yes. Or there used to, I don't know if it's still on Netflix. That's where I watched it, because at one point that was all I had was Netflix. It goes into a little bit more about like the lawsuit that her descendants have gone into, and I think at this point now they've finally gotten some justice. They'll never be compensated for all of the
billions, the billions.
Just, I mean, it's probably really trillions to think about it.
Probably is trillions.
They will never get a drop in the bucket compared to what they would have been awarded. Like there's a similar situation. There was a guy who donated blood all the time because there was something about his blood. I can't think of the case now. But he was like, and it's donating blood, but he got put on like the patents for some of the research and like that kind of thing. And so like her family, she was never compensated. It's completely unethical, everything that they did, but they still use her cells. They're still alive, which I find fascinating.
It is fascinating.
Yeah.
It is fascinating. So, all right, there we go. I hope somebody learned something today. I appreciate everybody. If you're still watching and you haven't hit the like button, please hit the like button. Please, please, please hit the like button right now. Boop, 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 boop. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And we're going to go to cleaning our palate. I'll speak for myself first. If you guys have something to clean your palate with, please, I have no problem. But y'all cleaning your palate as well. For me, today we just found out that one of our grandsons is moving back to Dallas here in October. So we can't wait for him to come, and we're going to have a house full. So somebody make room for me, because it's going to be 2 infants and 3 grown ass kids. So I'm gonna need somewhere to go. But anyway, besides myself, I'm happy about that. Does anybody like to clean their palate with anything? Anybody got going?
I do.
Ronnie, go ahead.
I got a little something. Y'all see that?
Y'all see what versus everything.
Y'all see what my Detroit Lions did this weekend?
Lord have mercy.
Put that 52 burger up.
You be the hapless team. You be the hapless team.
Listen. A win's a win. Don't be giving up. You can't take away my wins, yo. We coming for. Hey, the Birds is coming up too, right? But no. To clean my palate though, for real, is the what I like to say is the community is like, starting to come together and starting to realize some of the things that people don't see on the news because they don't show it on the news. They don't want you to know that these things are happening. Last thing I wanted to do is, and I don't know if we did this or not, but I like to pray for that family that lost their kid, man, from the horrendous thing that happened at that campus. I forgot to say that earlier. I was like, oh, I forgot it, but I ain't want to miss that opportunity right now. So
Trey Reed.
Yeah. So that's what I wanted to say. I wanted to say, let's pray for them. Let's keep them in our prayer. Let's pray. Let's get that justice, that whatever happens on either side of it, gets out there and it's transparent enough so people can really understand and not be provoked to do something really stupid. That's what I like to say. Thank you.
You have anything to clean your palate?
Honestly, things are going pretty good, but I ain't gonna jinx it.
All right.
I'm just gonna appreciate and move on.
Ruben, you have anything to clean your palate? Something positive to put out to the universe as we close the episode?
Well, I actually just got offered 2 different jobs.
Congratulations.
Awesome.
Congrats. Yeah, hell yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And then my current position I'm already in offered me 10% more to stay.
All right.
So that's good. My mama told me that's a good problem.
That is absolutely
100%.
Yeah.
Start making those jobs fight against each other.
Yeah.
Raise
I was about to say, hey, listen. Exactly what I was about to say. That's what I'm saying. Damn right. Damn right.
Absolutely. I'd like to thank everybody that's watching. I absolutely would like to thank my guests that came on here. I know it is a few hours of you guys' time, and I truly appreciate it. I appreciate everybody watching. I appreciate you guys for coming on. Whether it's for a minute or whether it's for just watching or for the whole time. I really appreciate y'all and I love y'all. And with that being said, the Shipwreck is out again, and we'll see you guys next week. Love y'all. Peace.
Love y'all back. Later.